Right. I think we can actually begin now. Those that are not yet here, they will find us along the way so that we don't waste much time. So that we don't waste time waiting for people that might not even come. Right. So the whole topic of this evening is centered around the idea of making money and also the idea of certain things that are affecting most people that are not that you're actually not aware of. There are so many things, even you as a trader, that are affecting you financially that you're not even aware of. That's why I always tell people, even after you now know technically how to trade, there are still things that might still affect you to really now experience the fullest maximum financial freedom out of the charts merely because of certain things that you might not be aware of that are actually affecting so many people actually. It's not only you that would have maybe mastered how to trade, or even someone who hasn't even mastered how to trade, even other people that are not even a part of trading, they can even experience the same financial hardships, like even the people that are in. So what we're going to talk about, it's something that is deep and beyond the trading space, because when it comes to success and failing financially, one thing about succeeding or failing financially, it has nothing to do with, it's so irrespective of which industry you're mainly focused on. If ever one is going to succeed or fail financially, right? If ever one is going to uh succeed or make it financially, it has nothing to do with which industry you are basically focused upon. So this has nothing to do with, yes, there are differences in industry whereby one can say, this is that, but that's not the, when it comes to success and failure financially, it basically, it's irrespective of which industry one is really focused upon. So the main points that I want to bring home, there are quite a lot, quite a lot. I hope I will be able to actually express all the points fully and explain them fully so that you get to understand what really governs, what is really making people to still experience the same financial results year in, year out, year in, year out, year in, year out, almost each and every single time. The years are changing, but people's financial situations, they're keeping on remaining the same. So there has to be a reason to that. If ever you have gotten to a point where you think that is actually a normal thing for people to keep on experiencing the same uh financial results which are not even pleasing year in, year out, if you think it's a normal thing, if you have gotten to a point where you actually normalize poverty, if you have gotten to a point where you actually normalize being broke, it means you've actually been mentally captured in a huge way more than almost everyone else, because it's not even a normal thing. Let me slow down so that I will be able to fully express all the points that I want to state calmly, without leaving out some very important things here. Right. So to start off with, you come to realize that when it comes to let me just do a simple drawing here. Uh, Let me put two people here like this. Right. So when it comes to these two things, when it comes to being rich and being poor, it's actually more of people, they actually think it has to do. Number one, you need to know that being rich or poor, it's irrespective of industry, which industry you're focused upon. That's why you see there are millionaires, millionaire farmers, there are millionaire miners, there are millionaire traders, there are millionaire athletes, there are millionaire uh, builders, there are millionaire. So it's it has little to do with which industry one is mainly focused upon, right? It also has little to do with age. It has little to do with gender. It has little to do with where, like which country were you born, blah blah, all those things, they are they have nothing to do with one being rich or being poor, right? But now it has everything to do with obviously the mindset that you carry, and even your background. Your background, it affects, because your background, it actually affects even your mindset. Your background, where you were born, can even affect how you think. We are going to talk about all of those things, and even if ever it's not addressed, that's why sometimes that I don't quite agree with people who come and say the past is the past, it won't affect the future. That statement is a shallow statement, because at the end of the day, they don't really tell you the truth that if the past, if the strongholds or the challenges of the past, if they are not addressed, they can still affect even your future. They can still affect your future. That's why you see people that are born from poverty. If you're born maybe in a family where poverty, it actually lives there, you will realize that that person, in order for them to actually now reach a state of true financial freedom, there is a certain total change of mindset that that person has to undergo. It doesn't just help for them to even start a business or for them to be in the right industry. That alone is not good enough to make you rich. Being in the right industry is not good enough to make you financially free. That's why you see, even in the trading space right now, we have millions and millions of traders. But among those millions and millions of traders, you will actually realize that even 10 or even less than 10% are truly financially free, right? So it, it goes to show you that even in the trading space, there's there are things that I remember one of the days we are doing a simple conversation with some of the guys that I trade with. I was showing them that, do you know that the majority of your trading mentors, all they have managed to do so far is to address the technicalities of trading, but they haven't even addressed the real fundamental things that affect that that affect one's success or failure whilst they're in the game. They've managed to talk about everything else. If you when you're analyzing, you do like this, when you all of that, in as much as it plays a part, yes, it plays a part, but there is a huge part which is more of a mindset thing, which I'm still yet to see. I'm still yet to see mentors who really come up and start addressing the mindset aspect of things, because that is the real fundamental core of things that actually affects even how one will perform in the industry. How much money you even make whilst you're in the industry. You realize that even it has led to, yes, the knowledge that you carry, yes, it plays a part, but there's also the part of your mindset, even whilst you're carrying that correct knowledge. That's why you see, correct knowledge is like someone who knows, let's say you are someone who has, let's say, who has millions in their bank account, but they don't know the pin to their bank account. So you have access to money, but you can't even utilize it. It's like someone with the correct information. You have the correct information. You're in the correct industry, but yet you still experience hardship financially. It will be because of the mindset aspect of things, of which the mindset aspect of things, this is rarely addressed. Even your schools where most of you learned, they don't even address this aspect of things. They don't even address your mindset. The most painful part about everything that we're going to talk about is, let me just show you something here. Let me just show you some few statistics so that if ever maybe you don't know, or just in case someone here doesn't know. Do you know that the current, right now, in the whole world, in the whole world, we're almost more than 8 billion, right? 8 billion, like 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, more than 8 billion, right? Amongst all the 8 billion people, less than 10%, less than 10% are, are financially free. Less than this, less than 10%. 10% of this is eight. I think it's is eight. Is it 800 800 million? Yeah, it's 800 million. Less than that are actually, so it's actually even less than 5%. Less than 5% actually financially free. This is not even something that I'm making up or what. You can even do your own research. You actually realize that the number of people that are even the known, even if the known, both the known millionaires and the known billionaires and the unknown ones, all of them, they don't even surpass even 10% of the entire world population. And if you want to go deeper in the statistics, you also get to realize now that 95%, if not 98 or 99% of the problems that one will ever encounter in life, they are money related problems. 95% of the problems that most people right now who are broke, who are poor, are experiencing. If ever money is in, if ever we just address the aspect of money, most of their problems will be gone. That's why you see, even when it comes to relationships and even the aspect of marriage, they actually tell you that 90% of the divorces that are happening nowadays, they are being caused by financial issues. Financial issues. And the most painful part of it also is that in they actually say on the on the African part of the continent, the divorces, they're actually even more because most of the people down there, they're actually more broke. So having all these statistics, even what is causing most of this, the reason, if you check what causes people to commit crime, what causes people to commit all those funny things like prostitution, what causes people to steal, what causes people to be involved in robberies, to also it's all going back to the idea of money, money, money. So the most painful part of it all, if you check even your governments, what is causing corruption is money, money, money. They need money. They want money. So that's why they use the corrupt side of things to achieve or to get that money. So all I'm trying to bring to your awareness right now, it's the simple fact that we are currently living in a society that is, if ever I'm going to use a deeper language, I'll just say a coded society. Why am I saying it's a coded society? It's a coded because there are people that are at the top of the ladder. It's like this, right? There are people that are sitting on top here. Then there's another group, there's another group, there's another group, there's another group. Then there's also another group which is at the bottom. The majority of people, they are here. At the top, bottom there, where the majority are struggling. So here, if we are going to put some percentages, you can even say maybe here we have 80%, maybe here we have maybe 10, then maybe here 5, right? So up until we get to the 1% at the top there. Those people at the top there, they are the ones that are controlling everyone who is below. Number one, all the systems that you have in the current world right now, all the systems, whether it's the educational system, the educational system, whether it's the whatever form of system that you know, is being governed by people that are at the top there. One of the things that you don't realize about most of the people that are at the top there is most of them now, most of them now, they are not as they are not as kind-hearted as you might think. I'm not saying this. I'm not even saying that one has to be evil in order to make money. No, I'm not saying that. I'm simply trying to show you some of the things that are currently off when it comes to the current society that we're living in. People, they don't realize that even, let's go back to the educational system, right? If you go to your educational system, find out when did it start? Who actually invented the educational system? Who said people must now start to go to school, right? Who said people must now start to study certain subjects? Who was determining all those things? If you go into your research well, you'll be shocked because at the end of that research, you realize the ultimate agenda. Let me tell you the purpose of the educational system or formal schooling, let's say, if ever you didn't know the purpose of it. The purpose of it was simply to create employees. Even the person who actually came up with the idea. He said, I want people who don't think, people whom I will tell what to do there, run there, go there. That was actually his statement when he was asked. They actually asked him, what is the whole purpose of this idea of having an educational system? A system where children, they are given specific things to think about, specific things to actually study. We are given specific things to focus on, right? And we focus on that. So the whole idea was the creation of employees, the creation of human beings that don't think outside of a certain box. So they actually create the box, number one, then they give you what to also think while you're in the box, right? So that's why you see all the syllabuses, of your educational system, none of them, there is no syllabus. There is no syllabus in your entire educational system that addresses the financial success side of things. Yet, if you check the majority, if you check all the statistics that I spoke about, whereby the majority of the problems that people are experiencing, they are money-related problems. Yet, the same system that now, if you go to the same educational system, when you arrive, they'll tell you, this is the key that you need to succeed, right? That's what they tell us. When you arrive there at school, the first thing that they'll tell you, you're in the right place. Once you go through this system, you will definitely succeed in life. That's what they told us, right? And the most painful fact about it all, even after having gone through that system, we have seen people graduating. Right now, if we calculate how many graduates we have that are still unemployed, right? There are so many. Even the ones that are employed, that are struggling while it's even employed, there are so many as well. So you begin to question most of the things that you have been told. Things like, this is what. It doesn't even add up. If you think these things are normal, that's why I said in the beginning, if you still feel that being broke and being poor, it's normal, the system has dealt with you so thoroughly to an extent that you have actually accepted defeat. You've actually accepted the situation to say, this is my normal life. Yet, all of these things are being controlled. There is no coincidence about whatever things that are happening. What is making people to be broke? Others, the majority to be broke, the majority to be poor. While the few, they actually seem to be financially free than the majority. It's all something that was well thought of. These guys, they thought about this plan so well, thinking of, because now let me tell you one thing that they don't want. These guys most of these guys that are at the top, one of the big things that they know about money, one of the biggest things that they know about this thing that is called money, one thing that they know, what it does to a human being, what money does to a human being. They know that once a human being has money, that person is free to say whatever they want, is free to think whatever they want, is free to go wherever they want, and to do whatever they want whenever they feel. So that person cannot be controlled anymore, right? So they understand that if ever the majority, of people realize financial freedom, they actually, according to them, according to their corrupt way of thinking, they actually feel their power, of which the way they are getting their power is through what? Through suppressing the masses, right? That's how that's the form of power that they are utilizing, right? So they feel like their power is actually going to be challenged, because imagine when the majority of people, they can now do whatever they want whenever they want to. You can't move people around. If ever you, let's say someone was your employee, whereby they could call you anytime and say, come here, do this, do that, and now you actually now have the same money with the same person, who was employing you. Now you now make the same money. They can't just do whatever they want, like anytime, without you even agreeing to certain things. So there are so many things that you never agree to when you have money. You can easily say no when you have money. If you have found, if ever you have seen someone who will say yes, 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 yes to everything, that person is broke. Rich people, when you truly have money, you can easily say no. And after saying no, you won't even regret saying no. Right? So all of those things are things that these guys they don't want. They don't want you to reach that state. They don't want you to reach that state. And they also know that once someone has money, they can now even fully realize their fullest potential almost in every aspect of life. In every other aspect of life, you can actually realize your fullest potential, whether it's in terms of your career, whether it's in terms of whatever gift that you have, whatever dreams that you have, or whatever plans that you have, whatever aspect of life that you might choose to focus upon. They know once money is involved, you will realize it to the fullest. So, me saying this, I'm not saying everyone at the top is corrupt. Hear me. No, I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying the guys that are controlling the current system now, those ones, they actually, if ever they wanted you to prosper, let me tell you something. If these guys wanted you to make it, first and foremost, they were going to give you a total different syllabus in school. Number one. Number two, all the graduates that we have from the academic system, all of them, if not most of them, they would be powerful millionaires and powerful billionaires. The lecturers themselves in school, they will be serious millionaires. Even the principals in school, they will be billionaires, serious ones. To prove to you that this system it doesn't work. Imagine they tell you that this thing works. They tell that this thing works, but when you go there where they are saying this thing works, you look at your lecturer who is teaching you whatever subject, let's say business studies, for example. He's teaching you how to start a business, right? According to their syllabus. But check the same lecturer, he doesn't even own any business. Him himself, he doesn't even have a business. Yet he's teaching you how to start a business. They're telling you this thing works. But if you check the lives now of the people, that have undergone through the system, it's not even convincing enough to even support that point that they say education is the key to life. And to correct you on that, I know most of you have heard that education is the key to whatever, to success or to life, whatever. Let me correct you also on that. There is a difference between education, right? I'll just say edu, and schooling. These things are different. Schooling is going to school, like what most of you did. You went through schooling, not education. Education, if you go into the deeper meaning of the word education, it means a total different thing from what you guys thought or what you guys might think. Education actually means drawing from within, drawing from within. So it was an idea whereby you take a child or you take a human being, you discover what they already have within them, whether it's a gift, whether it's a talent, whether it's a passion that they have. Then you start to draw it out of them so that they perfect it and they actually can get to live on that, right? That's the meaning of education. Then schooling now is what you guys did, whereby you wake up, you go, you wear your uniform, you wear the same uniform with everyone, you go to the school there, they start to make you study useless stuff that are not even consistent with the current situation of the world and even the current financial state of the world. The same things that our grandfathers were busy learning 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. The same things our grandfathers were being taught are the same things that are being still taught today. Yet, if you check the lives of our grandfathers and our grandmothers, they are not even convincing enough to prove to you that this system works. How does one? It's like if ever we say, if ever you pass through this bridge here, right? Or if ever you enter water, you must come out wet, right? Then you enter the water and you come out dry. What is wrong there? Is it you who is wrong, or is the water which is wrong? Is it you who is wrong, or is the water which is wrong? If they tell you, if you enter our water, you have to come out wet. Then you enter their water, as they say, and you actually come out dry. This is what is happening in the current educational system now. They tell you, come, come. And as you come out, the minute you come out of this system, you'll be successful. That's what they, according to them, that's how they present it. Right? That's why you see people, they spend 20 years, some 24, some they can even go for 27 years in school. And let me tell you, one of the most painful facts that you can even argue as much as you want. But by the time, remember I told you, the purpose of the whole system, their initial agenda was to generate employees. They know an employee thinks in a certain way. And there is no employee who will ever be financially free. There is no employee who will ever become a millionaire or a billionaire. So long you're an employee, financial freedom, you are still far from it. So they know all of that. So they know by the time you are done with those 20 whatever years in that system, they know as you come out, number one, your mind has been programmed already. This is where we're going now. Your mind has been programmed to think in a certain way. You have been programmed to think in a certain way. That's why you see in school, they program your minds to think in very strange ways. That's why they create funny competitions in school. They make you to have tests, and in those tests, you must experience the test yourself, and you don't share your answer with the next person, even if you know the correct answer. Do you know what kind of mentality they are building in you there? They are actually building in you a mentality of not sharing the truth, even if you know it. To an extent that even when you come to real life, those same people are going to have problems, even if you don't know, you will still remain alone in your ignorance, because the system of schooling, it taught you that you have to get the answer yourself, and you don't share it even if you know it. That's what so in other words, they are making you to compete amongst yourselves, right? And as you're competing amongst yourselves, the ultimate prize that they give you at the end of the day is not even any prize that can be converted to monetary value, right? The most painful part about those competitions that they make you to go through, the majority of us there, our destinies and even our passions, they are not even aligned with any of those things that we'll be going through. Imagine if ever someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, they can give him an examination on history. Let's say he was studying history in school. Then they give him a test on history. What does that have to do with? Because everyone, when we are born with total different gifts, different talents, different passions. It's like that. We can't change that. It's not something that you discover them along the way, but you're actually born with them already. So imagine going to a system which programs everyone the same way. Even if we carry unique gifts and talents, but we are still being programmed the same way, using the same formula. Yet we are different. So I can go on and on and on and on, but at the end of the day, if ever you haven't seen anything wrong with the schooling system, you still need a lot of light for you to wake up. If you still think all is well in our schools, all is well, our schools are okay, our everything is okay. If you still feel the society that we are, the society that they have created for us, if you still feel everything is conducive for you to make it, then why are the majority struggling? You have to answer that one. You have to answer that one. If ever you think what they are teaching you in school is conducive enough for you to make it in life, why are the majority of those same people that are coming from school, why are they struggling? You have to answer that one. You now have to answer that question now. Okay, tell us why the majority of the graduates that have even graduated, why are they still struggling in life? If ever, according to them, they say if you enter this water, you have to come out wet. Yet we have all entered this water. but we actually came out dry. Some they even came out naked. Beyond being dry, you actually came out naked because you even lost the some of the things that you had, some of the abilities that you had, because they actually covered them up. Imagine someone who has a passion for football, for example, right? I'm just giving an example. Then they will waste 20 years of his life teaching him theory about history, about this, about this, about that, about that. Imagine it doesn't have anything to do with what that boy is even passionate about. Imagine how much afflicted your soul will be after you leave such a system like that. Most people, let me tell you a very painful fact. Most people, when they come out of the educational system, energy wise, they've been drained a lot because their souls, which no matter how much you want to express yourself in a certain unique way, you can't do it in a system where which has its own syllabus. You're only allowed to think in a certain way within a certain range. You can't go outside of that range. I remember one of the days back in school there when our, was it primary school, when our teachers would ask us, children, so what would you want to be when you grow up? That was a very interesting question. But if you look at if you look at it deeper now, you will realize that there are certain answers that they were expecting. They ask you a question which seems like an open question, yet according to them, there are certain things that they want you to say. I remember one of the days when we began to wake up. Then I chose to to say something totally different. I remember it wasn't actually, I didn't say it directly, but I actually told the person next to me to say that, right? I told him, go in front there, tell them you want to become a millionaire. Tell them when you grow up, you want to become a millionaire. Do you know the amount of the amount the way the whole class laughed at the boy? The whole class, from the teacher who asked the question, what would you want to be when you grow up? It was the teacher who asked the question. Then I told the person sitting next to me, go in front there. Because everyone was going in front. Go in front there. Tell them you want to become a millionaire when you grow up. He went and he spoke exactly that. The whole class, they laughed. The teacher even started rebuking the boy, rebuking the boy. A millionaire? How? So it's like a, 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 a war began there just by a simple child simply saying what they wanted to be when they grew up. Just because they didn't answer according to how everyone was answering. Everyone was saying, lawyer, hey, me I want to be a lawyer, me I want to be a doctor, me I want to be a pilot. All those those are those people, what people don't realize about all these professions were initially, if you check the backbone of every profession, it was initially someone's passion. If it wasn't someone's passion, it was someone's gift or talent. All these professions that we now say, hey, lawyer, hey, doctor, these are not things that they actually initially started like that. It was someone's initial passion, right? That they were passionate in, let's say, as a lawyer, someone was basically passionate in dealing with matters, right? Then they now classified and gave it a name. And now when they ask you that question in school, they're expecting you to all answer in a certain way, give a certain answer that is within this box. If you say entrepreneur there, you if you say entrepreneur, if you say a millionaire, billionaire worse. If you say billionaire, you're worse because the amount of rebuke the amount of fight that you receive is serious. Let me tell you where those fights are coming from. So we are getting there. So now you get to understand one thing that I want all of us right now to be in agreement with right now, before we even go far with the entire discussion. One of the things that we must all come to agreement with is the current society that has been created for us. Because we can't say we created this society. Because if ever we had power to create this society, You were supposed to also be involved in the decision making. So you were not involved in the decision making. You were, you and I were basically victims of certain decisions that were made while we were not even around. So one of the biggest things that we must come to agreement with, if ever one day you wish to succeed, especially financially, one of the things that you must first come to realization is the current society and the current systems in our society, they have been made to make us fail. The way they've been made, and someone might say, are you, are you crazy or what? No. The way they present them to us, they present them to us in sort of like a way to make us think that these things will make us successful. When you really sit down and you start to look at the statistics and you start to look into these matters deeply, you realize that most of the things that our society has been feeding us, it has nothing to do, it's not even conducive enough to our financial success at the end of the day. I can go on to so many different systems and show you how those systems have been designed to make you fail. I gave you a simple example of the educational system, the way it was designed to make you employees, right? To make you employees, to make you think in a certain robotic way, where you are supposed to think according to certain data. You are not supposed to think outside of, there's a box that they give you, and you're not supposed to think outside of that box, right? Because they know so long you go 10 years like that, already 10 years is more than enough for you to even be programmed. Just 10 years from grade 1, I don't know, is it from grade 1 to grade, is it 7 or 8 or whatever, or let's say grade 1 to grade 10, that's 10 years, right? 10 years is even more than enough for that programming that they would want to achieve, for them to achieve it. They know by the time you get to grade 11, 12, even even if you decide to go further, go to if you decide to increase the academics, university, whatever, when you go there, your mind is now deep in the program. It's now deeply corrupted with the whole system and the idea of creating employees, right? So one of the biggest things that these guys at the top, they know, let me tell you one of the biggest things that they know. They know that this aspect of a human being is one of the most powerful and most dangerous aspect ever. This aspect of a human being, right? They know that. These guys, they actually know that. It's not like they don't know. That's why they have created systems. All the systems that these guys have established, all the systems, from the educational system, from even we can go as far as even the media, what they are allowing you to see and to hear every day. All they are doing, the purpose of, even I can go as far as the health sector, whereby they are actually inventing foods that will make your mind not to think deep. Do you know that food, what you eat, it can even affect how far your mental capacity or your mental power can even go? These guys are aware of all these things. So when it comes to systems, it's not only the educational system, it's not only the media, it's not only the health sector, right? They've even gone as far as the fashion sector, whereby there are certain clothes that there are certain chemicals that they put in certain clothes, right? Whereby if you wear that, it can drain a certain amount of energy, mental energy in you, unaware. So all these systems, right? Hear me, I'm not even fighting people to dress clothes. I'm not even fighting people to eat food. I'm not even fighting people to use media. No. I'm simply saying, in that whole system, there is the negative side of it, which they are obviously pushing, right? Obviously, there's always a positive aspect of it, but the majority of the real agenda of those systems, most of them are the negative agendas, whereby if you look at your media, look at your television programs that they've put in front of you, look at the news even what you call news, if you discover who really controls the news that people hear every day, you'll be shocked. You'll be so shocked. And in those news, they make sure that negative news is actually, they actually publicize negative news more than positive news. All of these things are calculated, if guys you don't know. These things are calculated. These guys, they know how powerful a human mind is. So all of these, they know, let's keep them so busy watching useless television programs. If we do that, and they know that if you go for a year, just 1 year, focusing on useless television programs, already your mind has been programmed to enjoy comfort, and useless stuff. And come the second year, third year, already there your mind is now used to that lifestyle of just watching other people live their own life. Because what is happening on the television programs, you are basically watching someone else express themselves, or you're basically watching someone else make money. That's what you're doing there, if you didn't know. When it comes to news, why do they foster? Why do they make sure that go if you think any of the things that I'm telling you now are things that I just thought about now, go and do your research, you see. Look at all the news right now. If ever you are that person who loves to listen to news, check, study your news. Look at how much percentage of the news that they're even distributing every day is negative. The majority of it is negative. Why do they make it negative? They know that once we make the majority of it negative, we are feeding the human mind, with a certain perception of life. They are feeding you with a perception of negativity, a perception of impossibilities. They are feeding you with a perception that, hey, guys, life is hard now. Hey, so these things are happening. Hey, hey. So they know once they feed a mind with all those suggestions, the mind will accept that as a reality. Once the mind has accepted a certain situation as a reality, that person can never live life beyond that reality. No matter how much you might want to make it, if your mind, the only reality that it knows or that it has been exposed to is a reality of poverty, you will never, hear me. This is not even discouraging you or anything. I'm just telling you the normal dynamics of of the human mind. The human mind, it can only go as far as the perceptions that it has been given. All they are doing when they are creating these systems, they are trying to, number one, take hold of the human mind. Number two, feed the human mind with a certain false idea of life. Once we feed the human mind with a false idea of life, it means that mind, it will start to operate according to that level. It will never exceed that level that we would have fed it with. So, still on the same idea now, because their main agenda is attacking the mind. It's your mind. They're after your mind. Forget about forget about even let me tell you something that you might actually be shocked with. Even what you call witches. Hey, witches, hey, they are bewitching me, they are bewitching me. What your witches do, they're actually after your mind. They attack your mind. Once they attack your mind, they know that they've attacked your life. Because it is your mind which governs what kind of life you're going to live. How much money you will make, it's governed by here. It's not the body. People, they we actually take these things wrongly. You think it's your body that determines how much you make. No, you are wrong. Even if it was the body, everyone who is working hard, sweating every day, there would be serious millionaires and serious billionaires. It is not your body that determines how much you make. That's why you see your CEOs, all your CEOs, they are not even working as hard as you are working, you, the employee. You, the employee, are even sweating more than the CEO of the company. The real owner of the company, he is not even working as hard as you, the one who is employed. Do you think do you think that's a fair deal? According to the maths is not even adding there. The maths doesn't even add. Isn't it supposed to be the one who is sowing more is the one who must reap more? But it actually seems like it's the opposite, whereby you, the one who is sweating more, you are the one who is sweating more. Look at the amount of hours you are working. You enter 8 a.m. You leave that workplace at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., or whatever. Some they are even going for extensions. Some they even go for extra hours. Let me work extra hours for me to make extra money. You're working almost 16 hours every day. Your boss, he works when he wants to work. He can even come there to the workplace even for an hour or two and leave. And when he leaves, don't think that he's going to work somewhere else. No, he's going to live his life, spend his money or whatever, spend time with family. If he's not spending time with family, he's actually thinking of opening another business and implement the same system, employ people who can't think for themselves, employ people who no longer, people whose minds have been captured through the systems of society. Look for those people, create a business, look for those people, put those people, let them do the sweating, you do the making of the money. So these guys, they are not even sweating as much as you guys are sweating. But yet, who is making more money? It is them. Because they have an understanding that when it comes to making money, it's not about how much you sweat physically. No, there you are wrong. They once you take that route, you are totally completely wrong. Completely wrong. They understand this aspect of the human anatomy, which is the mind, the human mind. The human mind, if you really go deeper into research about the human mind, if ever you are that hungry to know how much the human mind is so powerful, do you know that they actually say the amount of power that the human mind has, it can even light up the human mind, like the chemicals that make up the human mind, properly utilized, they can even light up an entire city with electricity. I don't want to go there, just in case I confuse the majority of you. But if you want to research, go and research about it, you'll see. So we are back to the issue of the mind. This affects the lifestyle that you ever live. How much money you are going to make, even if you're a forex trader, I don't care. Whether you're a forex trader, you're a farmer, you're a builder, right? That's why I said in the beginning, financial freedom, it is no respect of industry, right? It doesn't care whether you're a farmer, it doesn't know all of that. The principles, they are the same. They don't change. They don't change. So your mind, it is the one that is determining your life and how much money you are going to make, how much you are making, and how much you will make. So let's go deeper now into that mind, since it is the most important thing. Do you know there's this other I forgot the name of the video. I think I saw it, was it 10 to 15 years ago? Yeah, I think I saw it 10, was it 10 years or whatever ago? This other video that I saw on YouTube, and they actually removed it. The reason they removed it is because that person spoke the real truth. That guy said, if ever our schools, even our churches, even our every system in society, if ever it could address the human mind, show people how powerful the human mind is, show people how much the human mind can do. He actually said most people will never be broke as they are today. They will never be living in misery like what they are doing today. People, they think if everyone becomes rich, we are going to have a problem in society. You actually realize that it's the opposite. The more people become rich, the lesser problems you are going to even experience in societies, the lesser challenges you are even going to experience in government, because corruption is even coming from the issue of people being broke. Corrupt leaders, they are coming from the issue of being broke. You are a broke leader, you are broke, and then you come into power, you are still a broke leader. So the only way you can manipulate everyone else is through corruption. So going back to the human mind, you realize that your mind your mind is so powerful to an extent that once it's programmed in a certain way, it begins to give you results according to the programming that you would have been given. The human mind is so flexible enough to an extent that it can be programmed. It can be programmed to say, that's why you see that if ever you are used to waking up, let's say at 3 a.m. every day, initially when you were starting the system, you used to set an alarm. But as you set an alarm, you are programming the mind there to say, as we wake up at 3 a.m. That's why you see, you with time, you no longer need the alarm. You just wake up exactly at 3 a.m. Exactly, you won't even need the alarm anymore. That is just to show you just an example of how powerful the human mind is. Once it has been programmed to think in a certain way, it will now start to work in autopilot. Autopilot, this is where now it's now doing the same activities at an unconscious level, whereby you no longer need to consciously think about the thing. But so the human mind is basically programmed from birth. The minute you are born, the minute when you were born, that's when the programming of your mind began. Right now, you are now an adult. You think that your mind was programmed today. No, they actually programmed it. The minute you were born, they actually started to program your mind there to think in a certain way. To think in a certain way. And when you think in a certain way, you always see life in a certain way, and you also get results according to that perspective. Right? So you also even act in a certain way. Because the question is like, there's no way you can act in a certain way if ever you don't think a certain way. It's like action is actually at, at the bottom there. Then we have results here. So you think, you feel, you act, then you get results. So this is action there. That's why I also talk about your behavior, your character, everything there. So all of these things, the equation is always like that. Some of you check it the opposite. You think it's like this. So knowing this now, you realize that where you are born, that's why I said in the beginning, your background, it has an effect on even how much money you're making today. If ever you didn't deal with it, if ever you didn't deal with the programming that you got from birth, it is that same program. I don't know if ever you've heard of this term generational curse. Let me show you what a generational curse is according to the scientific uh, scientific understanding. What a generational curse is. I don't know if you've ever heard of that term. So, what a generational curse is, it's simply a programming. It's simply a program, right? Which is simply a certain way of thinking, a certain way of perspective, a certain perspective of life, which ultimately leads to people achieving certain results that are in line with that certain program. That's what a generational curse is. That's what a generational curse is. Right. So how this thing begins now, that's why you see that most people whose father, let's say your father was a drunkard or your mother was a drunkard, they say most likely you see the child being the same, right? If ever the parents or the grandparents were poor, they say most likely that next generation one will also be poor. They are doing, they are simply extending a generational case. Why do they say that? They're saying that because what happens when you are born is, if you are born, let's say you are born, the minute you are born like this. This is you, right? And let's say this is your family here. This is family A, and this is family B this side. Right. Family B, this is a rich family here to the right. A rich family here where money it actually flows easily there. Money really is not even an issue. It's not even part of their problems. Then there's also family A here, where money really is not even, it's a serious problem. in family A here. When you were born, your mind was neutral. It wasn't even neutral. It was even, if I say neutral, I'm even giving an understatement. When your mind, when you were born initially, from the onset, if ever we could play, if ever we could do a replay of your life upon birth up until where you are today, you actually pinpoint where things went wrong. You actually pinpoint things that you went through there in that phase where you were born up until now you are now an adult. There are things that you went through there that are affecting the results that you're experiencing today. It's even affecting how much money you are making today and also how much money you are not making today. It's even affecting whether you are poor or broke today. The financial hardships that people are experiencing today, they never started today. They are just manifesting today. Let me repeat this one. The financial problems that people are experiencing today, they never began today. These were seeds that were sown in the mind of this human being from a young age. Right now, they are just expressing themselves. They are just ripe. These are seeds that they were sown and they are now ripe. These are now fruits that you are just now reaping from the sowing that was done to your mind from a young age. So we have two different families here, family A and family B. Two completely different families. You, when you are born, you are so innocent. Your mind is so innocent, so fresh. And in its freshness, that's why you see a little child, before they are even exposed to the programs of the mother or the father or the family, they are so curious. They are so positive. They are so free. They are so they feel like they can do anything. They feel like they can do anything. So they feel like they're naturally, we are all born natural risk takers. We are all born free. We are all born positive. We are all born curious. We are all born with that fire of doing anything and everything that we want. So that's how initially your mind is born like. They actually say initially, if ever I'm going to really express it fully as it is, they actually say when you are born, you actually have a mind which thinks in a certain similar way to where you came from. Right? Where you came from, obviously, we all came from God. So, somewhere, somehow, they actually say when you are born, your mind is, it will actually be operating somewhere, somehow in that level of thinking. That's why you see a small born baby, before you as a parent, before you start expressing your fears to the child, hey, don't do this, don't do that, before you start expressing your own beliefs and start feeding the child with any beliefs of your own, that child is as innocent, as free as they feel like, me, I can conquer the world. Me, really, I can do anything. So that's how we were all born. So free, so we're so innocent. But now the danger now began where the environment now that we landed upon, right? The upbringing that we actually encountered, the beliefs that were now started to being introduced to, the thoughts that were now being told to think, the things that were told that are hard. When you were born, nothing was hard according to you. According to your mind, when you were born initially, there was nothing hard. Even life was not even hard. So all these things that now came into your mind, they came from an external source. This was not you. This was not your own contribution to your mind. This was an external contribution which was done by your family, your parents, whether it was your parents that were taking care of you, or whoever was taking care of you, or whichever whichever environment you landed upon when you were born, that was the environment that started to program your mind to start functioning in a certain way. If ever you landed in in an environment of poverty, your mind, it started to accommodate, it started to think in that same way of poverty. Oh, hey, money is hard to make. So imagine you're born so innocent, so free. Then you land in a family where poverty is around, where money is a huge problem. They rarely talk positive about money. If ever they're talking about money, they're talking that, hey, guys, we no longer have money. Hey, guys, money is so hard to make. Hey, money, I don't even, money is so hard to find nowadays. Hey, money, this, hey, money, all the negative aspects of money. That's what they were conversing. When they were making those negative conversations about money, you, even in your little child state, your mind was capturing all of those conversations. People, they think when you're a baby, you can't hear what people are saying. When you're a baby, your mind is picking even what everyone else is saying. It might not understand the fullest meaning at that state, obviously, because you're not fully conscious of a lot of things. But your mind will be picking all those programs, all those programs, all those programs. As your mind picks all those programs, it's now shaping itself according to those programs. It's now programming itself to think alongside that path. Because your mind in that state, it doesn't know what is right and what is wrong. Right? Anything that you feed it, it actually takes that as the truth. If your parent said, we are poor, when you were a little child there, your mind picked that and said, we are poor. It actually received that as the truth about life. So life is full of poverty. This is your mind now comprehending that statement. I'm just giving an example. If ever those were the conversations that were happening in your family, guys, we are so poor. Our family is poor. We are poor. We are poor. Life is so hard. We are cursed. Some families, they can even stay it as it is. Hey, guys, our family is cursed. All those utterances, all those statements that were being made, your mind was capturing that. As your mind was capturing that, if ever, let's say, your mind was, let's say, if ever we are going to give an example of it in terms of size. Let's say your mind was, or let's say in terms of weight. Let's say the weight of the mind, or let's say is determined by how much positivity or negativity it receives. If it receives more negativity, it loses more weight. If it gains more positivity, it gains more weight, right? Let's say that's the example that we're giving. So you realize that if ever your mind, let's say it was a 2 kg or a 5 kg or 100 kg, the minute it started to hear all those utterances, it started to lose weight. It actually started to conform. It actually started to look at life based on those things that it had. Because your mind, remember, in that state, it doesn't know what is true and what is false. Hmm? So the only true, everything and anything that it will hear, it will receive that as the truth. That's why I'm saying, if ever your first environment that you exposed to upon birth was an environment of poverty, your mind started to program itself according to the standard of poverty. Your mind started to know poverty more than anything else. Your mind actually started to know that life is hard. Before even your life is as hard as it is now, your mind actually programmed you for the hardship that's why I said the financial struggles that people are experiencing today, they never started today. These are just the fruits of seeds that were sown in their minds from a young age. It's not even a coincidence. It's not even a coincidence. They fed certain seeds in your mind. And remember, your mind cannot reject information at that state because you're still a baby. You don't know what is right and what is wrong. And if ever you, you grow up in a family, please, this is making me, guys, that's why I said this session is going to be intense. And we are going to cover all these things so that at least you realize where your struggles are coming from. So, when your mind was programmed for poverty like that, so if all that you were hearing from a young age was life is hard, hey, money is difficult to make, hey, we are poor, we are cursed, hey, avele you are this boy vele would never achieve anything in life. Since us as the parents, we never achieved anything. This boy will never even achieve anything. These are all statements that you kept hearing in that innocent state that you were in. You heard all these statements and you received them as the truth. You received that as the truth because you didn't know the difference between right and wrong. Every information that you had at that age, every information that your mind had, it literally received that as the truth. As it received that as the truth, the mind now it now programs itself to function according to that level, according to that truth, according to that reality. That becomes its reality, and that ultimately becomes the reality of that person. That's why you see that it's easy for someone born in a poor family. It's so easy for them to also be poor. It's also easy for someone who was born in a rich family for them to also be rich. The equation is the same. It's just that the programming that these two kids go through is a different programming. Come to the other side of life, you realize that another child is born, and they are born now because the parents, they are rich. The reason why they are rich is because they carry a certain mindset. They carry a certain programming in their mind, which is totally different from this side, right? This programming that is here is totally different. You will realize I remember one of the days, one famous billionaire was actually asked, so what's the difference between poor people and rich people? He actually stood up and said, the programming of the mind. The rich are programmed to be rich. The programming that the rich carry in their minds, it's a programming that is conducive with being rich. And the programming that poor people carry, it's a programming that is in line and in sync with being poor. Ultimately, his final conclusion was for someone to either be rich or poor, they just need to change their programming. The mind, the programming of their mind. So even if someone was rich, if you change their programming to start, I don't know how you are going to do it, but if you are going to change the programming of a rich person to that of poverty, they will be poor, even if they were rich. If ever someone was poor and you change that programming of that poor person, they will be rich. And most of you now, most of you think that it is what I'm going to do that will make me rich. That's what you think. But it doesn't start in the doing. It doesn't start in the doing. Remember the equation that I showed you. It all starts in thoughts. What you will do and the results of your doing, it all starts from the thoughts, which is from the mind. There is nothing that you ever do that your mind is not in agreement with. Everything that you have done this far, your mind actually was in agreement with that. That's why you have been experiencing the same results. The day you will change the programming of your mind, you will see that the way you feel, the way you start to see life, it will change. The way you start to act will change. The way you start to behave, the way you even start to look at money will change. All of the things that they told you from a young age were things that were according to their limitations that they were experiencing. That's what your parents, whether it was your parents who raised you up, whether it was your grandparents, whether it was whoever, they can only teach you as far as their own experiences. If your guardians, the ones who raised you up, if they were broke and poor, there is no way the teachings that they will give you concerning money will ever make you rich. If ever them, they are rich, they are poor and broke. So it means the knowledge base that is in their mind when it comes to being rich, when it comes to money, it doesn't go that far to make you rich. That's why they're not rich themselves. That's why they just give you what they know. You can never share what you don't have. Your parents, your guardians, no matter how much you love them, they can never give you what they don't have. If you were born from a poor family, your poor family members, they can never give you what they don't have. You can only share what you have. So there is no secret of success that you get from someone who is not successful. They don't know it. That's why they are not successful themselves. The reason why they couldn't tell you all these things is because themselves, they didn't know all these things. Imagine if your parents knew that, Pela, the most important thing in our child is the mind programming here. Themselves, they were never going to be poor. They would have changed the programming of their own minds and they would have been rich. And after being rich, even as they give birth to you, they actually make sure that upon birth, they program your mind to think in a certain way. Because they would have come to a realization that what ultimately will cause our child to experience a certain life is basically the programming that they carry. What causes another child to not even have confidence in life? And you meet another child so full of confidence. These are two kids, same age, same gender. They are born from the same country, same age, same gender, same everything. They even go to the same school. But you find different levels of confidence in these two kids. What is that? What went wrong with that other one who doesn't have confidence? What went wrong was the upbringing. The upbringing. What the conversations that he was hearing in his mind, they affected and they programmed his mind in a certain way. Once your mind is programmed in a certain way, you begin to feel you begin to view life, you begin to perceive your own life from a certain angle. You begin to act and behave in a certain way, ultimately, which will affect the results that you have. Ultimately, we'll just say the programming that you carry in your mind, it's the one that determines the results that you have been experiencing. So you see now where most of your problems are coming from. Some of you think just by you coming into jumping into the trading industry, you're going to make it. It's deeper than just it's deep. That's why I said in the beginning, financial freedom, being successful, it's no respect of industry. It doesn't care whether you're a forex trader, you're a farmer, you're a builder. It doesn't care about the principles are still the same. If you jump into a fresh, abundant industry like forex, yet the programming that you still carry is that one of poverty, you are going to view even forex from that poverty with eyes of poverty. You you only perceive according to the programming that you carry in your mind. If the mind programming that you carry, if it cannot go beyond $1,000, beyond the $10,000, beyond even $1,000,000, if it can't go beyond that, you come in a fresh industry like this, and you never even see yourself being a millionaire one of the days. It's because of it's a program. It's a program that you carry. They told you money is hard to make. So even if you come in an industry where money is made even easily, because of the programming that you received, that programming it's the one that is going to affect you, how you're going to perform, even on the market. how people even perceive and analyze on the market. We can even, let me tell you the dangers of having a poverty program or a poverty programming in your mind. A poverty programming, it says, it sees life from a perspective of impossibilities. Life is hard. Life is very hard. Life, you can't go far in life. In life, really, it's so hard to make it. This is the programming of poverty. I'm just giving an example of some of the things that will be loaded in a mind that has been programmed with poverty. These are some of the things that are loaded inside there. So that person, he thinks and he sees life from a perspective of his life. And he sees his own life from that perspective of impossibilities. I mean, really, I don't think I'll ever, I don't think I'll ever achieve that much in life. These are the conversations that are running in your mind, unaware. Me, really, life is so hard. None of my family members was ever successful. Really, me too, really, I'm also part of that. Really, as we are cast. Now you are now expressing all those seeds that they were planting. All the seeds that your upbringing planted in your mind. When you grow older, is the seeds maturing and they now mature to become fruits. You also start saying the same things that they were saying to you before you could even speak. They told you, you will never amount to anything in life. You will never achieve anything in this life. Because as we never achieved anything, really, you are part of this same generational case. You are part and parcel of this poverty. You will always be like us. So when you mature, when you grow old in terms of age, your mind, it still carries that programming, and it's now even it's now the programming, the negative programming, it has actually matured also, whereby you are now even saying the same things to yourself. I'm poor, Vele. Hey, my family is also poor. Life is so hard, man. Imagine how much. I don't know if you've ever done this analysis. Check check if ever you really are involved in an environment where majority of people are talking. Check how much negativity people are saying each and every single day. Hey, guys, life is hard. Hey. Money is so hard. Money is so difficult to make. It's all going back to the programming that people were given. So they just matured in age, but in their maturity in age, they never changed the programming that they received. You see that you start to perform the same way your parents were performing in life. You start to experience the same results that your family members were experiencing in life. The same hardships that your family was experiencing, you also experience the same. You now say, feel our family is cursed. I told you what a generational curse is just now. A generational curse is simply a certain programming of the mind that is running in the family. Once you just change your own programming, even your own family members would tell you, you have changed. You have changed. What is happening? Some of them, because of their negativity, they'll actually feel that this one, they are now full of themselves nowadays. Yet you just changed your mind programming. I'm just showing you even before the results even start showing some of the things that you encounter once you start changing your mind programming. Your own family members, the ones you love so much with all your heart, even your own closest friends, because remember, we only associate with people that are according to our level of mind programming. Your mind feels more comfortable being around people of similar minds. Your mind actually feels more comfortable. That's why you see someone with a poverty programming, they actually feel more comfortable. They feel at home when they are seated with their poor friend who also carries a poverty programming. Because the conversations there, they are not clashing. There's no clash in terms of conversations. If we say life is hard, that one also says, hey, my brother, that's so true. Life is hard. So the minds there, they are in agreement. That's why you feel so comfortable spending the whole day with your poor friend, whilst you're also poor. That's why you feel so comfortable. The minute you try to jump, the minute someone who is of opposite mind programming to yours comes close, your own mind will feel the tension. I don't know if ever you felt out of place when you're around certain people, whereby you come in a certain place where these people, their programming is totally different. They've been programmed for success. All they know, the only reality they know in their mind is success. The only reality that exists in their mind is success. Success, being rich, making money, progressing, living life to the fullest. That's the only reality that exists in their mind. When you get close to those people, and your own programming is opposite, you actually might feel out of place. Eh, and these people, your mind will be shocked because your mind doesn't know these conversations. Your mind is not used to this certain certain vocabulary of conversation. It's not used to hearing millions being spoken like that easily. Say, oh, so this month I'm aiming to make 1 million. I think if I make 1 million at least, 1 million at least, I mean. So these guys, those conversations to them, they are normal. Those are normal conversations. They are not even talking with the fear, talking those numbers with the fear. Someone say, hey, I was thinking of going on a vacation, man. I'm trying to decide between Dubai and Mauritius, and your mind is your mind is like, what? What is this now? So what will make you feel out of place is your mind, which is feeling out of place. It's feeling out of place because it's now in the presence of minds that are thinking in a different way from the way it was used to think. Your mind has been programmed to think in negativity, but then you meet someone else who just thinks in terms of possibilities, whether they are selling tomatoes, whether they are doing farming, whether they are trading, whatever they are doing, because their mind has been programmed to think in the positive side of things, to think in terms of success, not in terms of failure, in terms of possibilities, not in terms of impossibilities. You meet such a person, your mind will feel uncomfortable being in the presence of that person. And if you are not careful, let me tell you what most of you will do. Most of you will run away from that place, you run away from that person, thinking, because you actually now feel like he's a threat. He's a threat. He's a threat. What is feeling intimidated there is your little mind. It is only a little person who will feel intimidated by a bigger person, not the other way around. It is the little mind in you that would have felt, can't there's someone like me who thinks better than me. So even the ego in your own mind, it will rise, making you now to separate from that person. Yet that person, if ever you spent time with that person long enough, bit by bit, your own programming would have actually started to change. You realize that your own programming will start to level up to their level now of programming. The reason why they tell you spend more time with people that are rich, spend more time with people that are positive, spend more time with people that are going forward. The reason they tell you that is simply because of the programming of the mind. The reason they tell you spend more time in rich places is all going back to the programming of the mind. You going to a rich place, just being there alone, just you taking your body yourself, you yourself and your body and whatever. You take yourself, go to a nice restaurant there, very nice fancy restaurant, even if you don't buy anything serious. I'm just giving an example. Just your presence in there, just your mind being present in that environment. Because that environment is a rich environment. Most people that will come there, obviously, there are people whose mind programming they're up there. And those results are also up there. Your mind, when it spends more time in that environment where It's seeing other minds that are thinking better. If the more time you spend there, you realize that you also begin to think alongside that perspective of life. You start to see, so life is full of possibilities, Bill. All this while, I thought life was hard. But now, now, now I'm beginning to realize that pillar life is not that hard, like how I even thought. Making money is not even that hard because I'm now seeing, I'm now hearing certain things, certain figures that I thought were hard. So all of those things, even what they call affirmations, if ever heard, hey, affirmations, hey, visualization, hey, this, hey, that, even what they call prayer, all it does, all it does, it reprograms your mind from that poverty consciousness to a consciousness of success. Your mind has been so conscious of poverty more than it has been conscious of being rich. That's why you see they actually tell you always expect the worst case scenario. That's a programming of poverty at work. Expect the worst case scenario. That's someone who is speaking from a programming of poverty. If you meet guys who are whose programming is programmed for success, they'll tell you, my brother, shoot for the moon. Shoot for the moon. Let's project the biggest outcome that can come out of this. Right? So these are like, you realize that we are living in the same earth, but within that same earth, we are living in two completely different worlds. Other people, they are in a certain world, others, they are living in a certain world. And in these two different worlds, people are experiencing different lives. You think we are all in the same world. We experience life according to the programming that we carry in our minds. If your programming is that of failure, you will live in the world of failure and you experience failure. So long you are in the world of failure, you will never succeed. So long you are still living in the world of failure, you will never make it. Trust me, you will never make it. You will never make it. Let's go. Let's push the next 10 years, maintain the same programming of failure. You will never make it. No matter how much you push physically, no matter how much you sweat physically, so long you maintain the same programming of poverty that you have been carrying, that they gave you from a young age. If you don't change it, your results will never change. Trust me. Trust me. I always tell people, no matter, even if 100 million people right now join Forex trading, not all of them are going to succeed. The ones who will make it are the ones with the correct mind programming, the correct programming, the correct programming. The ones who carry the correct programming, they are the ones who will make it. They are the ones who will make it. All these other rest of the ones, because of the negative programming that they carry, because of the poverty programming that they carry, the poverty programming will make you to easily give up. The poverty programming will make you to see the negatives more than the positives. The poverty programming, it will make you to see impossibilities more than possibilities. It will make you not to even see an opportunity where there are opportunities. It will make you, even the way you see the market, it will totally be totally different. You see the market from a scarcity perspective with eyes of poverty. Imagine you're wearing glasses of poverty. How do you expect to be rich whilst you're wearing glasses of poverty? Because when you're wearing glasses of poverty, all you see around you is poverty. There's no way you ever see even riches when they come close to you. That's why you see, no matter how much powerful opportunities can be presented close to you, if ever your programming is wrong, you never see that, hey, this opportunity is powerful. This opportunity can actually change my life. You never see it so long your programming is of poverty. Because your programming, it determines how you perceive things, how you perceive life, how you perceive even yourself, how you perceive your environment, how you ultimately, it determines the results, the outcomes that you get out of this life. They're all coming from the programming that you carry. Bill Gates right now, one of the days I was listening to this other interview when they said Do you know that if right now we take all the money from all these billionaires, if we take all their money, take everything, take all their money, take all their assets physically, take everything that they have physically, within a short space of time, they will have even more. What were they trying to say here? They were just trying to prove to you that these things, the results that these guys have, they're not coming from the outside, they're coming from the inside. There is something that they have inside that is the one which pulls these results to them. Your programming, it pulls the results that you have been experiencing. If it is poverty, if it is being broke, those results, they are pulled to you like a magnet by the programming that you carry. The programming that you carry, it's actually a magnet. It's a magnet that draws to you. It draws to you events, it draws to you people, it draws to you circumstances, it draws to you results, it draws to you knowledge that is in sync with it. That's why you see, if you have ever been poor before, how much easy it is for you to also meet people that are poor and for you to easily connect with them. So easy. You will say, you not even experience hardship meeting that person, even experiencing poor circumstances, even hearing bad news, it will be so quick to you. It will come so easy. You don't even sweat for poverty to come to you when you carry a poverty mind, a negative mind programming. You don't sweat for it to come. It's the same way when you now carry a positive programming of the mind. You start to draw to you certain knowledge that is in sync with that. You start to draw events, circumstances, even people that also carry a similar programming. And you won't even force it. It's not a force meta where you have to push. No. These things will naturally be drawn to you. Even the results, you actually start to get results without without too much sweat, like what most of you guys think. The same way you have been receiving poverty with ease, you'd never sweated for you to be this broke. It's the same way you also never sweat that much for you to even get all those things. Your main job now, let me tell you where your main job is in that whole equation. Your main job is in the reprogramming of the mind. That's your main job there. That's the only sweat, the only major sweat you encounter if ever you're going to realize financial freedom one of the days. The only major sweat that you encounter is in the reprogramming of the mind from negativity to positivity, from poverty to riches, reprogramming that mind. That's the main job. Once this mind has been fully reprogrammed, it's like you have changed the total software of a computer. Once you change the total software, it changes the whole everything else. It changes even how you behave, how you start behaving, the conversations that you start enjoying, even environments that you start being comfortable in. That's why you see the more you reprogram your mind, the same poor friend of yours that you could talk for 5 hours, talking poverty, talking about hardship of life. Next time when they come, just for 10 minutes, if they just start talking about the same conversations that they were talking to you previously when your programming was still negative, you actually start to feel irritated. This irritation, hear me, is not even a sign of hatred that you now hate your friend. No, it's your mind that has been reprogrammed to succeed, which is in conflict with that mind of your other friend, which is opposite that your own mind. I don't know if you're getting this. The programming that you now carry is now opposite to the one that your old friend, your old friend is still carrying the same old programming of poverty. That's why you see most of you, the minute you start to rise, you start to reprogram your mind. Even people that you were, someone will say, hey, yes, I have known this guy for 18 years, but he just, jiki just changed. This guy just changed and he abandoned me. This is your poor friend now who will be talking to others. Yet what changed there? You just you just changed your programming. And as you changed your programming, your own friend that you were connected to because of a negative programming, he never changed his. So you changing yours, you actually started to attract to yourself certain new associations that are not him, because you now feel more comfortable talking about the positive side of things, talking about riches, talking about being rich, making money, talking about all those good stuff which you and your old friend were not talking about. You're actually talking about it from a negative perspective. So there are so many people that you will lose the minute you start to reprogram your mind. You will lose certain people. I'm telling you the truth. It might sound harsh, it might sound painful, but let me tell you, don't even be pained when you find your old friend that you were so used to. Hey, my friend, I used to love him, man, but I just lost interest. I've seen certain people who entered a relationship with the programming of poverty. Both of them had a programming of poverty. That's why they met at the end of the day. So they enter a relationship like that. Then one of them now wakes up, whereby they wake up to the idea of being rich, and they now actually start to reprogram their mind, and their mind is reprogrammed to success and riches and whatever. Do you know that if these two continue in the relationship and that other one doesn't level up, very soon you lose interest in that other person. Not out of hatred. Hear me. It's not even out of hatred that you now say, yeah, yeah, I hate him. No, it's not even the reason why rich people feel more comfortable spending time with rich people. It's not even that they hate poor people. No, it's not. No, that's not the reason. The reason is simply because their mind, the programming that they have in their mind, it feels more comfortable being with people of the same programming. They feel more comfortable there. The minute they come in the presence of someone who is poor, someone who thinks in terms of negativity, someone who sees life from negativity, their minds will start to feel out of place. Will start to feel out of place. Immediately, they will cut off that friendship. Me, I can't relate to that. That's why. That's why you've heard this term whereby they tell you the rich, they keep on getting richer, whilst the poor keep on getting poorer. It's very true. The reason why the poor keep on getting poorer is simply because when someone is poor in terms of results, in terms of finances, it's because they carry a poverty mindset or a poverty mind programming, right? Or mind program. That's why they're experiencing poverty. There's no way you can carry a rich mind program and experience poverty. It doesn't work like that. So this poor person, them being poor in that state, them being broke or whatever, they naturally attract results, circumstances, people, events, everything that they magnetize to themselves is according to that level of poverty. They keep on attracting poor people. That's why when you now decide to be rich, be so careful. Be so careful about whom you spend your time with. Be so much careful about the television program that you watch. Be so much careful about the news that you're allowing your ears to hear. Why? Because all of that, either it keeps on nurturing that old programming that you had. Because once you decide to be rich, the old programming, which was of poverty, if it keeps on hearing news of poverty, you are nurturing it. You are nurturing it. So to cut off the growth of the old programming, you need to cut off all the things that were feeding the old programming, all the thoughts that were feeding that old programming or that old program or that old mindset, all the thoughts which are thoughts of negativity that that were feeding that programming was feeding from. Cut them off. All the words that program was feeding on, you cut them. All the environments that program was feeding on, the environments of poverty, all the television programs that you were watching, useless ones that don't even increase your your mindset or make you to reprogram your mind, you cut them off. There, what you are simply doing, you are simply trying to create a new reality in your life. What makes people to experience the same results year after year after year after year? This is the answer. If you've ever wondered, why can one person this keep on it's like they're rotating in a circle like this. Same same situation every year. Same situation every year. Same situation every year, same situation. What causes that is because you are entering a new year, but in entering a new year, your mindset is still the old mindset. And if your mindset is still the old mindset, you keep on experiencing results according to that old mindset. You experience life according to the mindset, according to the programming that you carry. You will start to see that when you begin to wake up now and reprogram the mind. So all those things that you've heard, belief system, what you believe in, all those things, they are coming from the programming. What you believe in is it's because of the programming that you received. There are people right now, unconsciously, they actually believe more in failure than in success. When your programming is a negative programming or it's a poverty programming, unconsciously, you believe more in being poor than in being rich. Let me slow down here. I'm saying if the programming that you carry in your mind is a program of poverty, at an unconscious level, your mind, all it knows is poverty. It actually believes poverty exists more than riches. So the only reality that exists in your mind, that is true in your mind in that state, is a reality of poverty, a reality of hardship, a reality of struggling. The minute you start to reprogram your mind now, changing the data that was dominating your mind, changing all the information that was dominating your mind will start now to adjust to this new reality, whereby your mind starts to open up now to see, Pela, in this life, I can actually be rich. Pela, this life things are possible. Pela, I can actually buy my own cars, my own houses. I can actually live. I can actually be financially free. That is those are things that your mind will start to open up to the minute you start to reprogram it. That's a reality that you're introducing to the mind. That was not there. Two opposite programs cannot dwell in the same mind. The battle that you're going to start fighting today, from today, if you decide to want to change the realities that you've been experiencing, the situation that you've been experiencing over and over again, the battle that you're going to be fighting is a mental battle. You're simply fighting an old program by the new program you are now consciously wanting to introduce to the mind. So when you bring that new program, the old program now, it will start to also fight, repelling that new program. Because your mind, all it knows more, it's more aware of poverty more than riches. It's more aware of hardship, more aware of impossibilities than possibilities. So when you start to bring riches close, the idea of being rich, the thoughts of being rich, everything to do with being rich, when you start to bring it close to that mind, that old program is the one that will start to repel that one. Right? So if you quickly give up that fight, you will go back to the same old program, and the same old program will win. Those are the same people that you see that they'll tell you, me, I once tried this, man. I once tried Forex. I once tried this, I once tried that, but I gave up. What happened there was they were introduced to a new program, which was actually in opposition to the current old program that they had. They didn't spend long enough time with the new program so that the old program can actually escape the mind. Because when you introduce the new program, that old one now, The more you foster, the more you push the new program in your mind, that old program, it has to leave the mind. Once the new program is fully settled in the mind, your belief system has changed, even your reality in life has changed. Your mind, it now starts to see life from that new perspective. You start to believe more in possibilities more than impossibilities. You start to believe more in success more than in failing. Your new reality, the only reality that exists in your world there, is that reality of being rich, the reality of being successful, the reality of making it in life, the reality of positivity. You start to attract situations, events, people, knowledge, everything that is according to that new program. You start to even magnetize them to yourself. You will see that it won't be difficult for you to rise once you now carry the mindset of rising. The reason why most of you it's still hard for you to be rich is because you still carry the mindset of poverty. That's why the idea of being rich is a hard one. The graph seems so the rough, the ground seems so rough. It's because what you're trying to achieve consciously and what the program that you carry in your mind unconsciously, they are opposing each other. Consciously, you say, guys, I want to make it. I also want to be rich. That is at a conscious level. But when you go in your mind, you will discover that you are still carrying that old belief system, that old programming. How do you check that I carry a poverty programming, I carry a rich programming? Start to be conscious of your thoughts. Start to be conscious of the thoughts that you are thinking the majority of the time. Start to be conscious of the words that you are saying the majority of the time. Start to be conscious with the people, the people that you are naturally magnetizing to yourself. Start to be conscious with situations that you are naturally attracting to yourself. Start to be conscious with even the results that you are naturally achieving. When you do that, you will realize which programming are you currently carrying. You actually realize it when you now start to be conscious of every thought that you are thinking the majority of the time. Most of you, if ever you could do a case study from January to December, you will realize that most of you, you have been thinking being broke, being poor, being broke, failing, failing, impossibility, failing, failing, impossibility, being broke, being poor. Those are the thoughts that have been dominating your mind the most. If ever your results have been poor and they have not been pleasing, if ever you could do a case study of your thoughts, the quality of your thoughts, you realize that the quality of your thoughts, it actually, it's like the quality of the thoughts is equal to the quality of the life. Quality of the thoughts, quality of the life. Quality of the program, quality of the life. Guys, are we together? Let me just see what people have been saying. Are we together? Is there anyone with a question? Anyone with a comment? Any questions, any comments based on everything that I've spoken? If you don't have a question, you can add a comment. If you don't have a comment, whatever. Just say something. Don't allow your old programming that didn't give you a platform to express yourself. Don't give it power. There are people that have been programmed to not even express themselves. Even when a platform like this is presented, whereby ask a question, they can't even ask. Okay, share a comment, they can't even comment because of it's a programming that they'll be having in their mind, whereby you grew up in a family where they were just the negativity was just high, too high, that even if you wanted to express a point, you didn't even get a chance, an opportunity to even say your point, even though your points were good. We are being channeled throughout. I'm happy we are learning the art of life. So true, very true. We are like robots in an experience of school. You even take too long to retire due to insufficient. Yeah. Yes, true. Such a deep wisdom, brainwashed. This session is making me emotional. We should be happy for the teaching stops now. We are fortunate to be receiving such wisdom. I ask God what's wrong and what's to be fixed in my life. God, yes. You see this. You see this. Let me address every comment here individually. We are being channeled throughout. I'm happy we are learning the reality of life. Yes, this now is the this is the reality of life now. It's actually the reality of life. There's no other reality of life that what you call secret of secret. There's no other secret that goes beyond the programming of the mind. All the secrets of success that you ever hear, they are all connected to the programming of the mind. Hey, read books, read books, read books. It's all connected to the programming of the mind. What are you doing when you're reading books? You're reprogramming your mind to start to be open up to new realities that it didn't know before. Hey, if you spend time with 5 poor people, you did a wrong number. You're actually the 6th one. It all goes back to the mind programming. Very true, like robots in experiments from school. School job, retirement, death. Yes. That's what they actually want. That's what these guys, part of the matrix, that's what they actually want. They actually want people to live such miserable lives. That's not even a life that you actually die without living life. You even take too long to retire. That's so true. By the time you retire, you can't even do anything anymore. This session is making me emotional. Right. Let me tell you what makes you emotional when you hear such things. What is getting emotional is the programming that you have. If the programming that you're having was an old programming, when we now come out now and start to show you the reality of things, it is that old programming that will start to either feel pressure or it will feel exposed, which is not good according to it. We should be happy for the teaching stop now. Yes, 100%. 100%. Ask God what's wrong and what is to be fixed in my life. Yes. Let me show you also. That's why I said, even in the other statement, that even what you guys call witches, all they do is that they just attack your mind. They just block the truth from getting into your mind. That's what witches do. They don't do anything mysterious. You think witchcraft is even doing anything serious? All they do, they attack the mind. They block the reality of things from getting into your mind. They know once the reality of things don't get into your mind, your life is wasted. Your life is wasted. They've done with you. Even God now, when He wants to lift you up, all He does, He addresses the programming of your mind. He addresses the programming of your mind by bringing to you knowledge that has to align with the reprogramming of your mind, knowledge that has to align with that new level that you want to get to. That's how God even the answering of prayers, God also addresses the issue of that as well as the go deeper, blah blah. The belief system is key. 100% positive programming is important. 100%, 100%. Let me tell you something profound before I look into the other questions or whatever. Do you know where negativity came from? Negativity, if we are going to trace where negativity came from, negative, whether it's negative thoughts, negative words, negative belief systems, even negative life circumstances, they never came from God. All of that, it came from the enemy. It came from the enemy. Even that's why next time when you start to think a negative thought, the devil is around. The devil is around. That's how he attacks people. People, they think the devil attacks people by maybe physically fighting you or no, he doesn't. All he does is he deals with that aspect of the mind. He makes sure he brings even the devil himself, he understands this equation. He knows that if I infiltrate the minds of these people with negativity, their results will be negative. He knows these equations. He knows all of these equations. He knows, okay, so if I create for myself ambassadors who will generate a system, and that system, it will capture the mind, the human mind, it means I would have won. That's what he does. And once he does that, he knows that once he captures the human mind, he has captured the human being. He's done with you. The devil doesn't even waste much time dealing with people. He attacks the mind. It's all a mental thing. Now you're talking of me, I'm scared of the market, meaning I'm scared of the money. Yes. Yes. You see yourself being scared of the market. You're scared of money. There's a programming that they gave you that is opposing being rich. It's opposite to being rich. That's why you see some people, they can actually hear the truth being spoken. And after hearing the truth being spoken, they actually run away from the truth. What is running away from the truth there is the old programming that they carry. It actually feels There's a repelling force there. There is tension between the new belief systems that will be spoken or that will be introduced, that will be opposing the old belief system that person was carrying. I'm rich from now on. That's it. That's the mindset. It all goes back to the mindset. You've spoken reality and positive words, wonderful. We're together, mind transformation is powerful. That was quite powerful. Say, you spoke a mouthful, my leader. You answered the only missing piece I've been longing. Yes, yes. Once you get to that realization that this is the missing piece, most of you, let me tell you, 95% of the people, the missing piece of the puzzle is what I'm telling you now. You think maybe you need to enter a different industry. You need to go to a different country. You need to, no. So long your mindset is still the same, even if we take you to America now, you will still experience the same poor results that you're experiencing here in Africa, right? So the programming of the mind, it affects the results. We can change you and we can even put you in a gold mine. So long you go there with your poverty mentality, your poverty programming, even whilst you're within a gold mine, you will never see the gold yourself. Even the gold, you won't see it. You won't see it. Uh, True, I desire if I test that chat, then my mind will change eventually. Didn't realize it, I'll already be used to it because it takes 21 days. Yeah, that's what it takes. 21 days at least to form a new habit or to introduce a new belief, to introduce a new thoughts to fully settle in your mind. It takes consistent 21 days. Consistent 21 days where daily you're consciously thinking positive, thinking the right thoughts. I'll I'll be rich. Being rich, Vele, it's not far from you. It's not even far from people. They think success is something that is far, 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 far. No, the reason why it feels far is because you carry an old programming. That's why it feels so far. Once you remove that one and put a new one, you see that Pela, I was standing on top of success all my life, but I wasn't seeing it. That's what you'll be so shocked. The comparison from a child perspective is 100% on point where the child can't be raised without being programmed. Yes, it's all a programming. We were all programmed. We were all programmed. Both the rich and the poor, they're all programmed. They have programmed their minds to think in a certain way. I'm already a millionaire. I can see it 100%. That's it. No one can stop you. Nothing can stop you. Other people, when someone starts to say these statements, they will actually feel intimidated. What is feeling intimidated is the old program of poverty in someone. That's why you see, when you carry an old program of poverty, when someone who carries the opposite, which is a rich programming and also rich results, if they start to talk about life from their perspective, because your perspective of life is determined by by which programming you carry. So when that one starts to express life according to their own glasses, the one who is lower, they will actually feel, this one is bragging. This one is bragging. Why is he speaking like that? Some of the things that you think is bragging is not even bragging. It's because you are carrying a negative poverty programming. You feel, there's scarcity. Life is hard. Why is that one saying life is easy? Why is he speaking like that? Why is he speaking like that? Why is she saying she will be successful? It's because you yourself, you are carrying an old programming. You have never seen yourself successful. When someone says, "Hey guys, I will be so rich," you actually feel, this one is being proud for nothing. The reason why I feel like that is because the old programming of poverty that you carry, it doesn't permit you to see life to that far, far, far extent. So you actually feel intimidated by that. I'll forever be grateful. Be awakened is difficult because everything the masses see normal is quite strange to me and draining to my spirit like disgusting. This letter is that people are not even aware, family, parents, friends, blah, blah. I'm truly grateful to me. Show me, yeah, 100%. So that's it. That's it. Once you wake up to this truth, to this reality, you begin to see that the biggest enemy that you have been having It has always been and will always be your own mind. Your own the program that you have been having in your mind. It has been that's your only enemy that you have. The devil himself, he knows that. To understand that if he wants to attack you, if he wants to limit you financially, all he does, he introduces thoughts of limitation concerning finances to your mind. He can't jump that. He can't skip that one and come to you straight. He can't do that. He actually uses the medium of the mind. The medium of the mind, because he knows that it is through the mind that we experience life. It is through the mind that we experience the experiences that we experience. If you can change your mind, you can change your life, especially if you believe in yourself. Even believing in yourself, it all goes back to the programming that you have. The reason why the majority of people right now, they no longer believe in themselves. They've given up on life. They've even given up on the dreams that they had even from a young age. Is because of the programming that they passed through. They passed through a programming of poverty, a programming that was so negative that told them, hey, life is so hard. Forget and smile about ever succeeding. That's the programming that you are coming from. Imagine you're coming from such a programming. Then you lose energy to make it. Energy to succeed, you even lose it. Even the hope of success, you even lose it. The same drive and the same fire that you had, I'll be so rich. You entered a family, you entered an environment where they actually told you, hey, my friend, relax, slow down. Life is hard here. Money is so difficult to make. Next time, be so careful when you are talking to anyone. People, they talk from the perspective of their mind program. Whether it's your parent, I don't care, whether it's your mother, your father, your grandpa, everyone talks from the perspective of the program that they have. People, we talk from our level of limitation. People, we talk from our level of life. You can never talk from where you are not. So people, they perceive life from the world that they are existing in. And the world you're existing in is determined by the programming that you're carrying. So if you hear someone uttering a statement, if someone comes close to you and tells you, ah, see the world where it's going now, things are getting harder and harder. That person is carrying a negative programming. That's why they are uttering that statement. They're uttering that statement because negative thoughts are the ones that are dominating their minds the most. And the only thing that can come out of that mouth is a negative thing. And the only result that person will ever experience are negative results. All your results that you've been experiencing, they are connected to your programming. Your results, if you put them on the ground right now, take all the results, your financial results that you've been experiencing, put them on the ground. You will realize that they are all connected to the programming that you've been carrying. They're all connected. They are not separate. It's not even separate. They're all connected. These dots are all connected. Your results, if we take it back, you will see that the actions that you took to even get those results, they are connected. Before you even go to the action, what you were thinking and feeling it was connected to that action that you eventually took. What you were thinking and feeling, it was actually connected to the programming that you have, whether it's a positive or a negative one, whether it's the one of poverty or one of riches. It's all connected. The results are ultimately connected to the programming of the person. You think that if I push hard, I will make it. No, it's not about the pushing hard. No, it's about reprogramming the mind. Once you reprogram the mind, it is that reprogrammed mind that will make you think in a certain way. It will make you to see life from a certain way. It will make you to even start believing in yourself and in your life more. You start to see life from possibilities more than negative impossibilities. You start to see opportunities more than problems. You start to see riches and wealth more than poverty, because that's in now your new reality. And the more you start to see that, it will even push you further now to start uh, acting according to that uh, line of thinking, ultimately leading to the results that you're going to experience, which will be these are all connected. It's all connected. The result that you've been experiencing this far, your your you and your mind programming, you caused it. I remember one of the days I had I had one of these rich people, or one of the richest people that I know. He actually said all the results that you've been experiencing in life. The way he spoke it actually seemed harsh at that time, but with time now, when you now wake up and you realize that hey, this person was telling the truth. He actually said all the results, the financial results you've been experiencing, you caused it. So I said, what? I caused it? How? That was my first response. Are you telling me I caused all this misery that I've been experiencing? And he actually said yes, with boldness. So at that point, I actually felt my ego started rising. How can this bastard say this thing? How can this guy say such a thing? Then I now started inquiring for explanation now. That's when he now started explaining that every action that you have taken, every decision that you have taken, which has produced the results you have gotten, it all emanated from your mind programming that you have. So it means it's your mind programming, not someone else's. Even if your parents were poor, right? If your parents were poor, it means they carry negative programming or a poverty programming, uh, which also means that is what they transfer to you, right? But now, if you change yours, you are also changing the results. There's no way you experience the same result that they experienced. That's why you need to be so careful now when you start waking up. Be so careful about what people will say, especially the people close to you. Some of them, the old programming in them, it will force them to say negativity towards your wanting to rise. I've seen certain kids whose dreams were squashed by people who are carrying negative programs in them, whereby this kid was so full of enthusiasm, full of positivity. Say, me guys, I will be rich one of the days. But then the minute he spoke that word, the people that were around the kid, because of the old programming or because of the negative programming or because of the poverty programming that they had, they actually squashed that idea from the kid. What? You think you'll be rich? Where? Where? From where? How? Which life? So those are things that you experience when you begin to wake up. The reason why they also tell you that when you have dreams, keep quiet, keep them to yourself. The reason of keeping them to yourself, the reason why they say that is because they know that most people, their programming is negative. So when you raise your dreams, say, me, I want to make $100 million before the year end. That is you, babe. That is you talking from your own rich program there. Then when someone with a poverty program hears that, they have valid reasons to even pull out to you. Say, rich where? In which economy? How? They can even give you 100 reasons, 100 negative reasons why that idea won't work. They can even give you 100 impossibilities why that thought that you're even thinking won't work. What are they doing? They're simply expressing the mind program that they have within themselves. That's what's happening there. That's what is causing them to say those words they are saying. So once you start rising and waking up, be so much careful about the people around you. Most of you will realize that you will lose a lot of people, especially the people that you thought you loved. Hey, I loved my friend so much. I loved my what so much. I loved my. Some of these people, they will naturally, according to the laws of life, you naturally be separated from them. Most of them, especially the poor old friends that you had. The conversations won't be matching anymore. The thoughts won't be matching anymore. The belief systems won't be matching anymore. You're like enemies when you're talking in reality terms. The minds there, they are clashing each other. So you find them irritating. The same people that you're enjoying conversing with. Ah, guys, life is hard. Yeah, you clapping hands, clapping hands. Yeah, guys, life is hard, and you're busy clapping hands, and you are enjoying it. But the day you wake up and say, ah, is life really hard? Or we've told ourselves that life is hard. We've told our minds that life is hard. The minute you start to wake up, you realize that next time when that old friend comes, life is hard, you actually feel the negativity because there's no way you would have felt it if ever you also were carrying the negativity yourself. It feels normal. Being broke feels normal. Being poor feels normal. When you yourself you carry it and you are close to someone who also carries it. But now when you change now, when someone now else who carries an opposite program to yours, when they now start saying certain words, even when they don't say anything, just by them being close to you, your mind, because it can see what that one is even thinking, it can even feel what that one is even, the state that other mind is at. It will basically repel, naturally repel, without any hatred to say, ah, me, I hate this person. No, it's not about that. It is basically the mind programs that will be clashing each other. Next time when you see someone who is rich, if you if you if you hear your old poverty programming telling you anything negative about that, that is a sign. That is a sign to show you that you carry a negative one. If you start to raise all reasons, hey, most probably that one, maybe that one used juju there. Hey, that one, I think is doing fraud. So when you're doing all of that, you're expressing your poverty program. It's actually giving you reasons why someone else is rich and you are not. So start to love anyone who is rich that you ever see, anyone who thinks in a better way than yours. Start to love that. Start to enjoy that. As you do that, you are actually reprogramming your mind in doing that. If you find yourself feeling out of place in an environment where true value is being shared, know that your old program there is the one fighting. It's the one giving you that feeling of being out of place. There you need to be so strong and stay there. Yeah, because your old program, it doesn't want any new program coming close to it. If a new program comes close, the old program will always feel intimidated and it will run away. New programs, they're always higher than old programs. They're always on top. So the one on top they will never be intimidated by the one on the bottom. It is the one on the bottom who will be always be intimidated. The old program, which is of negativity, it is always the one that is going to be intimidated by positivity when it's around. So, guys, it's time for you to wake up, reprogram your minds, re-elevate, change your results. You have been experiencing the same results over and over again, proving to you that you are so consistent with maintaining a consciousness of poverty, or with maintaining that program of poverty. You are so consistent. That same consistency, take that same consistency and bring it and start applying it on a new program of success, a new program of being conscious of riches, being conscious of wealth, being conscious of making it, being conscious of possibilities. Take that same consistency and apply it on the opposite here. You start to see your results changing as well. So, guys, for tonight, I'm stopping here. I don't want to keep you here for long than this, but I'm stopping here. I hope you were helped and you are going to change, and you're going to change your life. You're going to change your finances. You're going to change ultimately your financial results, ultimately changing your life as a whole from this understanding. There is no other secret that goes beyond the programming of the mind. Any secret of success that you can have right now, you can state 100 secrets of success. I will show you how all of them are connected to the programming of the mind. They are all connected to the programming of the human mind. Don't even limit yourself anymore. All the limitations that you have been having were programs that you were given. You were given by an environment, by people that also were not aware that they were giving you. These people that were giving you these negative programs, whatever, some of them, they were not even aware that they were giving you these negative programs, right? So you start now giving yourself the same way they programmed your mind for failure, you reprogram your mind for success. It's the same process. The process is one and the same. But now the only thing now is that you need to be more consistent in introducing this new program so that that old program, it won't clash this new one and ultimately win, but the new one will actually dominate the old up until the old leaves you and you totally live a completely different life, experiencing completely different financial results. So what you are hearing now is not even a coincidence. Let me now finalize this. You hearing this now, it's not a coincidence now because it's actually one of the signs that maybe you needed. That is now your time. People they say, hey, give me sign, give me sign. This is one of them that your time to rise would have come. You don't hear things up the same way you were magnetizing, you were attracting poverty, being broke, and all those negative news, and they resulted in negative results at the end of the day. It's the same way also when good news, when new information, when the truth comes, it's also a sign that your time would have come for new reality, a new reality to now, for you to start living in a new world. All of this while you're living in a world of limitation, a world of being broke, being poor, poor, this left, life is hard, all those, that's a different world that you're living in. Now, you're now entering a new world now, a new world where everything is possible, a new world where possibilities are there, left, right, and center, where you think in terms of positivity, you think in terms of success, you see yourself highly, you believe in yourself so much, you believe that it will always work out, you actually believe that things will work out for the good. That's a whole new world. And every world, it works according to rules and regulations. The world of success, it also works according to its own rules and regulations. You can't be thinking negative in a world of success and expect positive results. So are some of the rules when you're now living in the world of success and you want to actually keep on living there. You can't be tolerating negative thoughts, negative words, negative imaginations, always thinking about the worst case scenario. You can't be tolerating all of that when you want to stay in the economy of or in the world of success. Those things, they don't exist today. They only exist when you're dwelling in the world of poverty. That's where impossibilities dwell. When you enter this new world, my brother, my sister, that's a world of crazy people. People who think everything is possible. People whose dreams, if they start mentioning them, they will blow your mind. So it's not a world of limitation where people are limited to say, what this, this. It's not, there's no hardship that people will ever talk about or people that will ever think about. They don't think about those things. They don't even talk about those things. Hey, life is hard. They don't, that's not the language there. The language is totally different from the language that you've been talking all this while. So, guys, have a lovely evening. I hope this was helpful. You, those few that are here, you are here because it's actually your time for real serious changes to happen in your life. So that's it. I hope you're going to take this practical because this is practical information which you can even start to practicalize even now. Start to be conscious of the thoughts that you've been thinking all this while, the words that you've been thinking. You will realize that even the environments that you've been, the news that you've been spending more time being conscious of negativity more than being conscious of positivity. You've been spending more time being conscious of being broke than being conscious of being rich. So you're just the same energy that you're putting in the negative side of things, you are taking the same energy now, start applying it in the positive side of things. That's how you see that your results will ultimately change. So, guys, that's it. See you when you see me. Have a wonderful, lovely evening.